This is Twit.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888, ask Leo the phone number. I really love you, baby. Let's get to the phones. What do you say? What do you say? Starting with line 2, Brian in Nashville, Tennessee. Hello, Brian. Thanks for hanging on.
Hello. How are you doing, Leo?
I am well. You called early in the show to get on, and then Leo kept you on hold for 45 minutes. I apologize, but you're on now.
Well, good.
I'm grateful. I am gratitude. My gratitude. What can I do for you?
Well, I am just returning from a little trip to Florida. I heard you just went on a trip as well.
I did.
And I have tried so many different bags, backpacks, cable management devices.
I'll show you what I use. In fact, I still have
my wife is probably like, okay, we could have put 2 kids through college on the stuff you've got.
There are a lot of cable management choices. And, of course, you can do this the cheap thing, which is just use twist ties. There's 2 problems, of course. One is to keep cables wrapped and available without having been tangled. I tend to buy cables nowadays from a company called Nomad that come with the cable ties built in. They're little leather straps. They're a little more expensive.
Right, I do that on Amazon. You can see on the usually when you buy them, you can see they already have the little attachments on them. But
this is another company I'm looking at called Metrans. I had to buy a lot of Type C cables, so when I bought them, and they're braided, which means that they're going to be a little bit less tangly. But I'll show you the other thing that I do that I really like. I don't know why I say I'm showing you because this is the radio, but I'll show you in your mind. These are I use also Nomad cables, which come with rubber ties on them, and of course you can buy ties. I've got a whole bunch of Velcro ties that come in a reel. But this, to me, is the best cable management system of all. It's called Gridit. My friend Andy Inotko told me about them. GRID-IT. And what it really is just a stiff board, kind of probably cardboard inside, wrapped in fabric. And then on one side, it's just got a bunch of almost random rubber. God, how do I describe this? It's a grid of elastic, not like rubber bands, they're fabric covered, but elastic straps, and it's completely.
Yeah, I see it on the video screen.
Yeah, so I'm showing it on there. Yeah. So the idea is you keep the stuff that you need, and because it's kind of a random arrangement of straps, it's not. You can keep it in different things. So I have power adapters in there. I have cords in there. Here's my my travel router, my micro router, which is about the size of a USB key. So it's really good for that kind of thing. And then it's all in one kind of. They're different sizes, by the way. They come in. I have a smaller one, but they also come in larger ones. But they're just right because of the stiff backing for backpacks. They go right in the slot of a backpack, and they also have a couple of additional features. You can hang them. They have a little strap at the top, and then it has a zipper pouch on the back, and that's where I keep my USB keys, which I don't want to fall out of these rubberized straps. So this packet is very compact. I really think this is a great way to try travel, and it's not too expensive. Andy Inotko, who is the king of travel stuff, told me about this. It's called Gridit, and you can get it from cocooninnovations.com. And you'll see when you go to cocooninnovations.com a variety of different sizes, and they even have a video that shows in a much nicer way. Their grid is well aligned. They're obviously very OCD. Mine looks like. I don't know. It's just a little haphazard. I've got just stuff crammed in there. But I found this to be the best way to keep track of stuff.
I'm actually using that. That's probably the best. And the nice thing is I probably have too much stuff. My issue is I probably am trying to keep too much. I probably should just
you have to figure out what you need. Now, I'm going to give you a couple other things then, if you've already tried the Gridit and it's not done. Anthony Tortoriello, who is a photographer and is regular in our chat room as A Tortoloha, recommends the cable management systems from Think Tank, which make, in my opinion, the best camera bags out there. They also make little cable management sacks. And I've had a number of these from Case Logic as well. What these are, they're just zippered, pouches but they have clear sides, so you can see what's in them, and that's one of the other issues with cable management.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I never found one that had clear.
That's a really good idea.
Myself always reaching in, grabbing stuff, pulling it out. No, that's
so what is this? Yeah. And then you have to have the discipline to say, okay, this side is for batteries, this side is for cables, this side is for adapters. But I've had these travel pouches for a long time. Yeah, my discipline's terrible.
My discipline thing is well, it's not that it's terrible. I think I have to have everything because I work in coffee houses a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And you would be surprised how many times, I mean, almost every time I'm there, someone didn't have a cable, and of course they're on some older cable, and I have it, sure enough. But guess what? It's because my backpack's so
you don't take anything out. Let me recommend these Nomad cables. This is actually a good little gift guide thing. They're a little more expensive, but they have adapters for the 3 most common kinds of plugs. So they have a micro USB and then an adapter on it for Type-C and Lightning. So one cable does triple duty. I have a few of these. They're more expensive. They're braided cables. They also come with cable ties. So one cable, though, does the duty of 3, and that is nice to have that kind of flexibility. I don't have to worry. You know, for instance, I still have stuff that uses micro USB. I wish it would die. But that because it's on here as well as the more modern Type-C and the weird Apple Lightning, I have everything I need. On the other end is a USB Type-A. The other thing, I don't know if you ever learned this, but in my youth, in my ill-spent youth, I learned how to wrap cables. I don't know if you know the over-under technique for wrapping cables, but a lot of times cables, you'll wrap them up, you'll just go round and round and round, and then they're tangled when you undo them. There's a way of wrapping that, you know, the all AV guys know, where you go overhand and then you go underhand for the next loop, and then overhand and then underhand. It's kind of hard to describe. I'm sure if you look on YouTube, there's a video explaining how to do it. The advantage of doing this is that then cables just come unwrap without tangles. I don't know. It's magic. It's topological magic, but that is another good thing to learn. I don't know why people...
I've never heard of that.
Yes, it's a very useful technique, the over-under. And you don't wrap it too tight because cables will get worn if you do. I have a friend, David Prager, who has some sort of technique for tightly wrapping cables and turns them into a bow tie, it looks like. And then he doesn't need a tie, but I worry about that stressing the cables a little bit. You don't want to... Remember, the cables, there's wires in there. Too much bending and twisting and too tight will make a problem. But I think the over-under wrap is fine for cables.
I guess I'll YouTube that.
Yeah.
And the very last thing,
yes, sir,
is a, and of course I've got about 5 or 6 of those, and I've pretty much given away as gifts because I'm not impressed with, because they don't last that long. But because I'm using a MacBook Pro with parallels, there are times where you're in a coffee house and you don't have a plug. So this MacBook Pro, you know, I'll be there 5 or 6 hours sometimes. This MacBook Pro, it'd be nice to have something. It doesn't have to totally recharge it. It just has to be able to, you know, if I'm down to half an hour,
yes,
I can plug it in and it'll last me another 2 hours maybe. But I didn't know if you had any good solution for that for a MacBook Pro versus these little 5,000, 10,000 that all they're really for is phones.
Yeah, what you're looking for is not so much how much they store, because, I mean, obviously if you want to fill the whole battery up, well, that's another matter. But what you're really looking for is the ability to send you a lot of watts. Yes. So that's a trick, because there are different standards for this. There's Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3. There's USB-C power delivery, sometimes called PD, and Apple has, of course, its own fast charging, and a lot of this is driven by how much wattage is coming off of that thing. So I do look at capacity, but I also look at how many watts. I think that's not watts. Yeah, how many watts, which is how much it's being pushed down the line. I think that's all very important.